Phil Hartman as Charles Hayden Martin. Philip Seymour Hoffman as Oliver Short. And Selena Quintanilla is Mabel Gomez, sitting around a table in an apartment. Hartman. Okay, team. Any update on the Carradine case? Hoffman. Well, we didn't find any semen on the rope, so our murder theory for Mr. Carradine is still alive. Hartman. Unlike him. Okay, Mabel. Did you find anything else about Gino Cappelletti? Selena. Unfortunately, I don't think Gino's death was a murder either. It looks like it was really a heart attack after he heard about Tom Brady's Fox contract. Hoffman. What about you, Martin? Did you find anything else about Bob Lanier? Hartman. Believe it or not, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar seems to have an alibi. At the time of Lanier's death, he was in an airplane with Robert Hayes and Julie Haggerty. Boy, we're running into some dead ends with these famous deaths, aren't we? Hoffman. That's for sure. The mob refuses to talk about Bruce McVitie, so I'm not sure what we can do there. However, I think there may be a motive in the recent death of Mike Haggerty. Hartman. What's that? Hoffman. Haggerty and Ryan Gosling were both up for the leading role in a rom-com opposite Eva Mendes. Turns out Mendes preferred Haggerty for the part, but settled for Gosling after Haggerty's death. Hartman picks up a picture of Haggerty and says, "Really? Mike Haggerty. A rom-com? My cholesterol rises just looking at him." Selena. You shouldn't be surprised. Dad bods are in. Hartman. Well, what do you guys think? Hoffman. We should probably capture Gosling until we're able to coerce a confession. Cuts to a leaky basement where Chris Farley as Ryan Gosling is tied to a chair, with Hartman, Hoffman, and Selena surrounding him. Farley. Please, people, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I'm so hungry. Please release me. Hartman smirks at Hoffman and Selena and says, Well, Ryan, to be perfectly honest, it looks like you could afford to skip a meal or two. Farley. The extra weight is for a roll. Dad bods are in. Hoffman. Speaking of dad bods, you were up for that role against Mike Haggerty, weren't you? Farley. So what? Selena. So what? Mr. Washboard Abs, going up against the natural dad bod? You were threatened by him, weren't you? Farley. No, I loved him as the Amco guy in Curb. Okay, plus he was great on Friends. Hartman. Speaking of which, where were you the night James Michael Tyler died? Farley. Are you guys insane? I don't spend my time killing character actors from the show Friends. Selena. Well then, you better give us an alibi for the night Mike Haggerty died. Farley. I'd rather not talk about it. It's embarrassing. Hoffman. You're not leaving this room until you verify where you were April 29th. Farley. I was abducted by aliens. Hartman. What? Farley. It's true. When it comes up, I lie and say that a being touched my head and I felt every emotion in its purest form. But really, I woke up in a dirty metal dome and 40 little gray aliens watched me pee in a steel bowl. I didn't have my pants. They had me sit on a stool while they took turns gently tapping my nipples around. Hartman. Well, perhaps they were just collecting biological data. Farley. No. It felt super off the books. And then they dropped me from like an airplane toilet bowl onto the roof of a Long John Silver's. Hoffman. Well, okay, I think we get the picture. Farley. Then they threw out my pants separately, and they missed the roof. My slacks landed in a frickin' pine tree 30 feet away, so I had to just chill up there with my damn Franken beans hanging out until the place opened up. And live from Tom's phone, we're not alive.
It's Saturday Night Live, starring an ever-evolving cast that is unionized and refuses to allow their names to be mentioned until their demands are met. Musical guest, Trevor Stnard, and your host, Regis Philbin. Ladies and gentlemen, Regis Philbin.
Applause, applause, applause. Philbin.
Hey, thank you. Thank you. It's great to finally be here. I loved my life and my career. They once called me the hardest working guy in show business. In fact, I was in the Guinness Book of World Records for the most hours spent on U.S. television. Then Donald Trump ran for president. Talk about airtime. Trump had enough airtime to fill up all the Macy's Thanksgiving parade balloons. I tried to tell him to scrap that one. Anyway, among many other wonderful shows, I, of course, had a great time hosting the show, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Applause, applause, applause.
And it turns out one time on a celebrity version of the show, we had on as a contestant one of the current cast members of this show, Norm Macdonald.
Norm Macdonald comes out. Tepid applause. Philbin.
Now, Norm here got to the $1 million question, but chose to walk away with the $500,000 instead of going for the $1 million. There's been some controversy that some think I talked you out of going for it, even though it turns out you would have picked the right answer.
Macdonald.
Well, I wanted to clear that up, Regis. See, you were getting a little nervous, and I thought you had the answers on your screen. Or I thought that even if you didn't have the answers, that otherwise you were real smart. It actually turns out you don't know the answers. I don't think you know anything.
Philbin.
Well, Norm, I felt terrible that maybe you thought I persuaded you to not pick a final answer, so I'm giving you one more chance to answer a question for $1 million. How does that sound?
Macdonald.
Well, the Preakness is coming up, and other than dying of cancer, I felt pretty lucky lately, so why the hell not?
Philbin.
Okay, so the question for $1 million. What former NFL running back was accused of murdering his former wife and some nice Jewish fella in 1994? A. Jim Brown. B. Marcus Allen. C. O.J. Simpson. Or D. Walter Payton.
Macdonald.
Do I have a lifeline?
Philbin.
Sorry, you're dead. No lifeline.
Macdonald.
Gosh, I'd love to ask my girlfriend Nicole. She's a sports fan.
Cuss to Nicole Brown in the audience who does a face palm. Macdonald.
And boy, I don't even get to keep $500,000 if I get it right. So might as well go for it, huh?
Philbin.
Normie, you're killing me. Not literally as I'm dead, but come on. We gave you a layup here.
Macdonald.
I wish it were a layup. I'd know if this were basketball. Well, I'm going to go with B. Marcus Allen.
Philbin.
Are you sure? Are you sure you want that to be your final answer?
Macdonald.
I'm not falling for that again, Regis. I'm sticking to it. B. Marcus Allen.
Philbin.
Well, I'm sorry, Mr. McDonald. That's incorrect. The answer is C. O.J. Simpson.
Macdonald.
What? The guy from the Naked Gun movies? Get out of here. I heard he lived in Brentwood.
Philbin.
Oh boy, Norm, sorry. I tried. Anyway, we have a great show for you tonight. Trevor Stnard is here. So stick around for some Moonlight Equilibrium as we hear how everything went black. We'll be right back.